is going to be vertebral. This branch here will be costocervical. And then this one here would be thyrocervical. So vertebral, costocervical, thyrocervical. Try to get that order right. Vertebral, costocervical, thyrocervical. Yep. And then the ventral thoracic artery should be coming up here with this one. So that would be the one right here. So this one is ventral thoracic artery and vein. So this is the artery, this is the ventral thoracic vein here. Remember this branch for these three veins, so this was our anterior vena cava branching into left and right brachiocephalic. The left brachiocephalic branches into common trunk of costocervical and vertebral trunk, subclavian, and external jugular. Right, for this one, we have our dorsal aorta, our brachiocephalic artery, which goes up and splits into right common carotid, left common carotid, and right subclavian with the internal mammary branching off. We follow the other branch, our main branch. Remember, there's also the intercostal artery branching off here, the smaller one. The other main branch that we follow is the left subclavian. It's got the internal mammary branching up ventrally, and then the three branches here: vertebral, costocervical. Oh, where was I? Missed the first one. Okay, can you hold this guy back? Alright, there we go. Vertebral here, costocervical here, and thyrocervical here. Then this little part here, it's no longer the subclavian artery. It's now the axillary artery, which is basically just the Latin version for armpit area. So once it's like past this rib here, it's now the axillary artery. And then right here, you don't have to hold that anymore. Right here is where the what was it? Ventral thoracic artery and vein here. So I've got vertebral, costocervical, thyrocervical, and then ventral thoracic artery right next to the ventral thoracic vein, which branches off of this vein here, which, if you remember these three, you've got external jugular, subclavian, and it's branching off of the common trunk of costocervical and vertebral trunk, which then along here should become the brachial vein here. Alright, if we're following it, this axillary artery here onto the arm. Now since it's on the arm, it's called the brachial artery. We've got two arteries going up there, the subscapular artery and vein, and posterior humeral circumflex and anterior humeral circumflex. But you'll notice that posterior humeral circumflex actually comes off of the subscapular. So this first one here would be the subscapular artery, and the second one here branch off of the brachial artery. The second one is the anterior humeral circumflex. You have to go a little bit deeper up here to find the posterior humeral circumflex artery, which is not always visible. I don't see it. You can see the vein though, because you can see how the vein splits here. Alright, so for this vein, remember this vein is the subscapular artery and vein, and then you've got the posterior humeral circumflex vein branching off deeper. Okay, so this is our subscapular vein, their posterior humeral circumflex vein branching down. And if we go back to our main axillary artery that now becomes the brachial artery when it's on the arm here, from the brachial artery, this first branch here is subscapular artery, and then the next one is anterior humeral circumflex artery. Right, then you can look at the posterior branches. So I've got this branch branching posterior, I think is long thoracic. Yep, so we've got long thoracic artery and vein coming down, and thoracodorsal coming down posteriorly. So this is going to be the long thoracic artery coming down here. It's the first posterior branch of the brachial artery. So the brachial artery starts right here. This was axillary artery in this region. Sorry. I need to touch your phone.
Oh, in my hand is okay.
Okay. Not seeing the other. It appears this one, but that's actually branching off from up here. So I'm not seeing your thoracodorsal, but if this was your long thoracic coming down here, your thoracodorsal would be here coming down like this, kind of parallel to that. And that would be a thoracodorsal artery coming down. All right? And there's artery and vein to go with that. So this would be your long thoracic vein here, and then your thoracodorsal vein would also be coming off here with your thoracodorsal artery, which isn't visible. Okay?